So, in light of events that are happening in our world, and because this is Black History Month, Chris and I thought, on behalf of 700 Club Canada, we should have a conversation about inequality and injustice, and I'm so glad we are. And, you know, as I thought about it, I thought of heroes throughout history who stood up in the face of oppression and injustice, even though in many cases it cost them so much. But I also realized that there's a lot of people who aren't willing to pay the cost for that. So why do you think that is, Chris?
I think it comes down to two things. It comes down to cost and comfort. Let's talk about comfort first. It's easier to say, that doesn't happen to me, or it's not my problem, or people who I've talked to who look like that, they've never said anything and they've never complained about anything, or to say it's not my fight. And it's easier to stay on the sidelines and watch somebody else get hurt because we don't want to get involved, because it costs something. It may cost friendship, it may cost a promotion at work, it may cost being canceled, or maybe cost being somehow now being a hero of something. Because of those sort of things, we'd rather say, you know what, I'll stay on the sidelines. Conversely though, when we are willing to be uncomfortable, when we're willing to give up the cost of time, because we're willing to listen to a victim, willing to listen to the oppressed, what it does is it makes us be willing to be uncomfortable. And when we're uncomfortable, we're willing to give up that cost. Cost matters, but are we willing to hold on to something because it makes us feel better? Are we willing to give up something because it makes somebody else be elevated to a place of equality where we are? That's the challenge, is cost and comfort.
Wow, that is so good. And as you were talking, I was just thinking about Jesus. Aren't you glad?
Yeah. He
was literally willing to give up everything for us when we were really oppressed by sin. And we, as followers of Christ, we're to follow him and do the same. And one of my heroes in this area is Harriet Tubman, who we're standing here in front of her monument. And the reason is because she was a member of this church right here in St. Catharines, Ontario. And she took a great risk because she was a slave that had escaped and had found freedom, but she was willing to risk all of that to found the Underground Railroad and to help others find their freedom too. She became a voice, an advocate. It took a lot of courage. It could have cost her everything, especially in light of the Fugitive Slave Law in 1850, which said any slave that was found had to be returned, had to go back. She was willing to risk that to be a voice for the oppressed, and that is so powerful, and we should be willing to do the same, right?
Yeah.
I agree. Well, you know, I love the passage in Deuteronomy where it says, "You shall do what is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it might be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good land which the Lord swore and gave to your fathers."
And in light of that, we should be willing to always courageously stand up for those who are the oppressed.